So today we're going to be talking about the nutrition and hydration kit, and I'm also going to introduce the fire kit, some of the components in the fire kit. I will start with the nutrition and hydration. Some of the items I'm going to show you, most of them will be standard, some of them will be optional. And as I progress, as I learn more, some of the items might change to products that work even better. But everything here is tested, I've used it, and I recommend it. All right, so first we're going to show you how to cook food using a camp stove. Now this is primarily going to be used with our freeze-dried rations. So cooking is more of a nice to have than a need to have. If you just add water, you could eat these things, but you definitely want warm water, hot water ideally, if you can make it. So the advantage of having a fire kit is it has everything you need and more than you need to start a fire in several different ways. And it also has several methods to control any burns. If you do need to put out the fire, there's something in there too, fire blanket. But you need to be able to deal with wound care, especially if you're camping or if it's a grid down emergency. So I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about that. That's more in the first aid, but the point is you need multiple ways to start a fire. One is none, two is one. You want a layered approach. All right, so here's our nutrition hydration. And what we have in here is an Esbit stove. Now the Esbit stove that I generally recommend is this foldable, portable one. This is it, this is the stove. So what I do is I keep, a spare fuel block in there just as a backup resort, just in case I forgot. And these are the fuel blocks. These are also fantastic fire starters, so they have multiple purposes. But what we're gonna do is light it on here. And this, as you can see, I've used more than once. It will include in the nutrition hydration kit a new one of these Stanley cook sets. These are great, just like borderline indestructible. I've left it in the fire, I've cooked with it multiple times, and it locks the lid with this locking handle, but it also creates a way to take it off the fire. So what we're gonna do is just balance it there and have a fire extinguisher and a water hose handy just in case. Always keep that in mind, how you're gonna extinguish a fire if it gets out of control. So what we're gonna do is light this, and it's nesting cups, so you can boil water for coffee or tea. And for water, that's another video for how to filter water, how to purify water. But in the nutrition hydration kit, there's several methods to purify water. And this is my favorite for just on the go. You fill it at a creek, and then you can take it with you. So what I recommend when you get to a creek or a body of water that's not salt water, not a swimming pool, fill it, drink as much as you can, then fill it again. And this will filter a multitude of different sources. You could technically filter water out of the back of the toilet, out of a downspout during rain. I would ideally wait for a few hours for some of the debris to come out of the downspout. There's multiple different ways you can find water. And optional water test strips if you're unsure about the nature of the water. Also optional, this UV sanitizing pen. So when you put this in the water, so when you put this in the water, as long as you keep it charged, and it's USB rechargeable like almost all my devices are, you'll see it come to life. You see that green flashing light? You're gonna wanna leave it in there for about a minute, and you see that it's like inside of a fish tank. See it? So that's killing most of the bacteria that might remain. It's a UV water purifier made by the American Red Cross. So you keep that in there for a minute. As you can see, it's water activated. And again, this is the water before it gets filtered through the filter straw. So keep this for later. And let's just rinse some of this out. So what we're going to do to cook with this is you open the package, there's an oxygen absorber, and you add 1 and 2/3 cups, or 13 ounces. So you look over here, and we're at about 26 ounces. So we want to go down minus 13 ounces. So we'll go to 13. So that's what we're going to add. All right, that's pretty close. And this stays watertight. It comes with a carabiner, and that's great because you can hook it onto yourself, hook it onto whatever. And what we're going to do, leave this closed for now. Going to open this up and then use our fire kit to start it. Now in the fire kit, we have several different ways of starting a fire. Plasma arc lighter. This is the first resort because it's rechargeable. It doesn't use fuel, doesn't use any media in terms of a wick. It doesn't use any replenishable sources that we would have to run out of and panic because we can't use our Zippo because we're out of butane or we're out of the filament. So this uses electricity. It also has a flashlight when you cover it, so you can see at night, obviously, but we'll be using our headlamp for that. Another option, waterproof matches with a fire starter on the side. So this is totally watertight, but the problem is once you're out, then you're out. So use these sparingly as a second resort or third resort. And once you're out of matches, keep this for watertight storage of whatever items you might need, or notes, etc. Now here's something that most people don't think of. For your cigarette lighter in your car, remember what they used to be for? Cigarette lighters, before we just made them into cell phone chargers. So if you have an emergency and your car is handy and it's operable, use this to start a fire. Bring some paper, something that you could bring close by to the campsite. Bring your stove with you into the car, start it with this, and bring it outside. It's pretty safe. Nothing is ever completely safe. Lastly, we have an aim and flame. Why make it hard on yourself? Carry one of these. The easiest way to start a fire. All right, so I'm going to show you how to start this. Just break it out of the package. And for some reason, these things really stink. And we can try lighting it with this. We could use this. So let's just make it easy on ourselves. Let's use this. And we'll have this staged and ready because we don't want to waste any flame. And it will burn around 15 minutes depending on the elevation, depending on the temp. But even with a moderate rain, it will still stay burning. And there's a wax coating on it, so it won't light right away. That's for safety. So you have to try. It is lit right now. It's hard to see, but it's lit. Okay. So what we're gonna do is put this on, and now we're just gonna wait, and you'll start to see it steam. So a lot of people have a lot of canned goods, and when they go to get their canned food, they realize they either can't find the can opener, or they had to leave home, or they packed it in their go bag. They didn't bring a can opener. Now there's ways to open a can without a can opener. Why make foreseeable challenges come to ruin your life? You can see and predict and forestall the inevitable, which is frustration and possible lack of nutrition if you really are stuck. So stock a bunch of these in the nutrition hydration kit. And let's see, where did I put that can opener? Okay, so mini can opener, right? And that'll open almost any can. So I do recommend storing some cans in your food nutrition hydration kit. That's up to you. That's based on your preferences, but I will supply the freeze-dried food. And this one, as you can see, is 2 servings. So, share it with your family member. Each serving is 240 calories, so 480 calories per bag. But the best thing about these is it's not just made out of junk ingredients like an MRE would, like in the military. So this is made with rice, and you can read all the ingredients. Chicken, and the ingredients for chicken are chicken meat and salt. The rice is rice, niacin, cane syrup, tamari soy sauce, soybean salt, alcohol, cornstarch. But another advantage to these is gluten-free. Not all of these are, but I generally go with the flavors that are for most people, if it's a wider audience. If you're vegan, let me know if you need special food preferences. But most people prefer just gluten-free, and they're fine with the chicken, they're fine with the beef. So there's, chicken and dumplings. This is not gluten-free. Beef stroganoff with noodles, not gluten-free, but that one's quite good. I don't mean good for emergency food. I mean, it's something that I eat camping. I enjoy it. One of these is ideal because you can actually fill water canisters with it. You can use the gravity feed. You can drink out of it. Of course, you can use it for, regular hygiene. These, they only work when you're drinking out of it directly. You have to be sucking on the straw to get the water to come out. These will just be gravity feed. All right, so here's the spork. And this is plenty hot. So we're gonna now this is boiling. Now I wouldn't recommend using your bare hands. Now if you have one of my 3-day packs, I include these Fireproof Gloves. Now they look kind of silly, but there's a reason. You can reach into the campfire, grab something, move a log, but of course, grab something that's extremely hot and not ruin one of your most valuable tools, which is your hand. God damn it. Go away. No. So, and you can see it's still burning. So after you take this off, and again, these gloves are quite incredible. I wouldn't do this if I hadn't tried this before. This is really hot, so hot I can feel through the gloves, but I'm fine. And now you can move this, into your fire, into your whatever fire pit you have. It's a great fire starter. So cook your food first and then dump that into your fire pit that's ready. You have your tinder. Nice. We're going to take the water, and it's quite hot. It's boiling. Just put on there just for another minute, just to get it boiling. And it's definitely boiling. You see that? I want to get nice and hot. And then we're going to dump it in. The great thing about these, they have reclosable zippers. So we're going to dump it in, zip it up, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then give it a try. And since we already pre-measured the water, we just dump the whole thing in. I'm going to leave that off. Double-walled, insulated steel vessels. These are great for hiking, not for camping. What's the problem? If they're double-walled, that means they're insulated. And that means there's a layer in between the two metal layers that is either vacuum sealed or has, it's designed to have some kind of buffer between the outside and the inside. And you'll notice that it reduces condensation. It keeps the beverage inside hot or cold as you want it. But the problem with that is you can't use it for cooking and purification of water, whether it's distillation or just boiling it to boil out impurities. The reason is that middle layer will expand and the whole thing will eventually explode. It'll bubble out. It could just catastrophically shatter with no warning. So you don't want double-walled for cooking. Instead, what you want is single-walled, and this is stainless steel, just super strong, super tough, like indestructible, really. And that allows you to boil water. It allows you to eat out of. You can put the food in here. If you have canned food, it's a great way to heat it up and then eat directly out of it. Boil water, use your nesting cups to make tea, make coffee, if you have the instant coffee powder, but don't use double walled. Another thing about water is, I talked about these little water pouches that, as long as you are mindful of the date, you maybe add those in your calendar. This one, has a manufacturer date, so therefore it also has an expiration date, and it's 5 years from the manufacturer date, so October 2022. So the problem is, just like with bottled water, it's not that the water goes bad, it's that the container it's in goes bad. So it starts to leach the plastic, the petrochemicals. So what I prefer is the ability to filter water as needed, but you need some water to get you out the door, to get you to the place that has water, to the nearest creek, nearest stream. So know where the water sources are near your house, and then know where they are maybe 50 miles away. That's why, when I'm out cycling, I'm always looking for new places where I could just bug out for a week, and ideally near water, because water is everything. I need water to do hygiene. I need water for the dogs, for me, of course, for food, for cleaning parts. And if I'm near a natural water source, a creek ideally, or something else that's clean, then I don't have to rely on government FEMA assistance for bottled water. That's going to get crazy. They're going to have multiple problems. I can stay, lay low as long as I have plenty of food, canned food, have the ability to heat it up. I also have that solar oven, so I never have to worry about running out of fuel. But instead of packing bottles of water, up in your garage or in your car that are going to go bad within 3 to 5 years, this brand is fantastic. Guaranteed bacteria-free and ready for up to 20 years as long as you store it properly and keep it out of the sun. Don't put it outside, just keep it in a closet somewhere or underneath a staircase. So 20 years. Now it's been almost 5 minutes. Let's see how we're doing with our dinner. And these guys are probably going to perk up once I open this. I don't know if they like chicken teriyaki as much as beef stroganoff. All right, but it's cooked pretty nicely. All right. It's not quite fully diluted yet. Still got maybe a couple more minutes. The bag is hot. Another thing is, even the bag is designed to prolong the shelf life. Mylar bags are much better than transparent bags. You want to keep the light out, but let's see how we're doing with this. I'm sorry, it's not bad. It's really not bad. And you're going to be so exhausted, so famished in an emergency if you've been running, driving, being transported all day. One of the best reasons to prepare and over-prepare is to not have to rely on the help of the government, because now you've set yourself apart from everybody else who's dependent. You're not in control of your own life if you're dependent on somebody else to care for you. You will be independent, you will be self-sufficient, and it's empowering, not just for yourself and your family, but you're going to need things that you forgot to pack, that you ran out of, that you lost, that you broke. If you have a few extra ones of these and you have the ability to prepare it, well, they don't kill you for it. They're definitely going to negotiate and barter for it. So that's why, preppers need to have some capability for self-defense, because if you are running your generator, you're emitting cooking smells, you're broadcasting your location, you're broadcasting a major vulnerability, which is you're prepared. And those who are not, and especially if they have families, and just wait and see what happens when mothers realize that their children are starving. You can't even think of the limits that they'll go to. It's just beyond their own control. It's instinct, and it's totally respectable that a mother would kill for her young. It's animal instincts. So work with your neighbors. Don't withhold if you have enough to share. Don't give away your best. Don't give away everything you have. But the goal of preparing is to not just help yourself, not just help your family, but help those who are in need so they don't have to wait for the government. And in turn, that's one less mouth that the government has to feed, that now they can make sure other people who weren't prepared have food, have water, have shelter, have warmth, have electronics, have some semblance of safety and comfort in a time of crisis. So I'm going to enjoy my dinner. It's too hot to give to these guys, but what do you think, Steve? You want to try a piece of chicken? Oh, it's hot. It's tasty though. Hey, Ned, I want some chicken. Some chicken? Chicken? Oh, that's worth waking up for, huh? Oh, what a good dream. Yeah. And these are poodles. These are picky animals. If that wasn't good chicken, he wouldn't have gone up for it. Now he's pissed. He wants some. Definitely had worse in some Chinese restaurants. These lighters are really handy, and there's another variation of it, but same principle. Plasma arc. See what I mean? So I hope I gave you some food for thought. I think something that a lot of people don't think of is an actual cigarette lighter for your cigarette lighter adapter. And this one's neat. It says fire missiles. Super cool. All right, so food and nutrition, hydration, fire kit. Please let me know what you'd like to see more of. I enjoy making these videos, hopefully as much as you enjoy watching them. Hopefully even more than these guys enjoy watching me. But remember, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Don't just have some matches. Don't just have a lighter. Have layered protections, just like at your house, layered defenses. And with that said, I'm going to enjoy my dinner.